The American Electoral College. It's supposed to choose our president. But how does it actually work? Many Americans find themselves asking that very question. It seems complicated. And honestly, it leaves plenty of us scratching our heads. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the Electoral College. We'll make it clear, concise, and easy to digest. The year 2024 marks a pivotal moment in American history. The upcoming election will determine the direction of the country for years to come. And at the heart of this election lies the Electoral College, the very system that will decide the next president. Every single vote has the potential to influence the outcome of the election, particularly in those nail-biting swing states. Remember, the Electoral College doesn't always reflect the popular vote. By understanding the Electoral College, you equip yourself with the knowledge to make informed decisions. So buckle up, get ready to learn, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the Electoral College. Picture this. It's the sweltering summer of 1787. Philadelphia is buzzing not with tourists but with founding fathers. They're crammed inside Independence Hall, arguing, debating, sweating their way through the creation of a new nation. Among their many dilemmas, how to choose a president, direct election by the people. That was one idea on the table, but it had its problems. Could the common man be trusted with such a weighty decision? Some founding fathers weren't so sure. The founding fathers were a practical bunch. They knew that to create a lasting union, they needed to appease both the big fish and the little fish in the pond. Enter the Electoral College, a compromise designed to appease both large and small states. Each state gets a certain number of electoral votes based on the combined total of its senators and representatives in Congress. This means that states with larger populations get more electoral votes. But even the smallest states get at least 3 electoral votes, ensuring they still have some say in who becomes president. It was a delicate balancing act, one that has had a profound impact on American democracy for centuries. The creation of the Electoral College wasn't some grand stroke of genius. It was born out of fierce debate, compromise, and a whole lot of horse trading. Some founding fathers, like James Madison, were initially skeptical of the Electoral College. They worried that it wouldn't accurately reflect the will of the people. Others argued passionately in its favor, believing it was the best way to safeguard against mob rule. In the end, the Electoral College emerged as the victor, a testament to the art of compromise. Understanding the historical context of the Electoral College is essential to understanding its role in modern American politics. All right, let's talk numbers. The Electoral College isn't some vague concept. It's all about cold, hard math. Every state, no matter how big or small, gets a piece of the electoral pie. How big is each slice? Well, it depends on the state's population. California, with its massive population, boasts a whopping 55 electoral votes. On the other end, states like Wyoming, Vermont and Alaska each hold on to a precious 3 electoral votes. It's a system that reflects the principle of proportional representation. Now you might be thinking, okay, so the more people, the more electoral votes, right? Seems straightforward enough. Well, hold your horses, partner, because there's a twist. While population size plays a major role, it doesn't tell the whole story. Each state gets 2 electoral votes right off the bat, representing their 2 senators in Congress. This means that even a state with a tiny population still has a voice in the election. This built-in advantage for smaller states has had a significant impact on past elections. So while population size matters, it's not the be-all and end-all. Here's the magic number you need to know, 270. That's the golden ticket, the winning lottery number, the key to the White House. To become President of the United States, a candidate needs to secure at least 270 out of the 538 total electoral votes. It's like a giant, nationwide treasure hunt with candidates crisscrossing the country. But it's not just about winning as many states as possible. Some states are worth more than others in the electoral game. In this game, strategy is just as important as popularity. Election day arrives, you proudly cast your vote, maybe even sporting an "I voted" sticker. But here's the kicker. You didn't actually vote for the president directly. When we cast our ballots, we're actually voting for a slate of electors who pledge to support our chosen candidate. These electors, often loyal party members or political figures, make up the Electoral College. Think of it like this. Imagine voting for a friend to go buy your lottery ticket. You trust them to pick the winning numbers on your behalf. You're entrusting these electors to cast their votes for the president based on the results in your state. In most states, it's a winner-take-all system. Let's talk about those swing states, shall we? These are the battleground states, the ones that keep political analysts glued to their screens on election night. Think Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. These states are notoriously unpredictable, with a near-even split between Democrats and Republicans. Because their electoral votes are up for grabs, swing states become the ultimate political battlegrounds. Candidates pour enormous resources into these states, holding rallies, running endless ads, and courting voters with promises tailored to their specific concerns. Win over enough swing states, and you've got a shot at the White House. That's why every single vote in a swing state carries extra weight. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The Electoral College is a controversial system. Over the years, it has faced its fair share of criticism. Some argue that it's undemocratic, that it gives too much power to swing states, and that it doesn't always reflect the will of the people. Critics point to instances where a candidate has won the popular vote but lost the election because they didn't win the Electoral College. There have been calls for reform, with some advocating for a direct popular vote system or a proportional allocation of electoral votes. Others defend the Electoral College, arguing that it protects the interests of smaller states. The debate over the Electoral College is complex, with valid arguments on both sides. Remember those swing states? They don't just attract the lion's share of campaign attention, they also tend to see higher voter turnout. If you live in a state that's reliably red or blue, you might feel like your vote doesn't carry as much weight. But in a swing state, every vote feels crucial. The election could go either way, and your vote could be the one that tips the scales. This sense of urgency can be a powerful motivator. It's no coincidence that swing states often see long lines at polling places and record-breaking voter turnout. When the stakes are high, people are more likely to show up and make their voices heard. Now, let's flip the script and head over to those reliably red or blue states. Here the picture is often quite different. Voter turnout tends to be lower, and there's a sense of apathy among some voters. If you're a Democrat in a deep red state or a Republican in a deep blue state, you might feel like your vote is just a drop in the bucket. This sense of disenfranchisement can be a real problem. When people feel like their voices don't matter, they're less likely to participate in the political process. This is one of the main criticisms leveled against the Electoral College. The Electoral College presents us with a bit of a turnout dilemma. On the one hand, it can motivate voters in swing states, making them feel like their votes truly matter. On the other hand, it can lead to apathy and disengagement among voters in reliably red or blue states. This disparity in voter turnout raises important questions about the fairness and representativeness of the Electoral College. Is it right that voters in certain states have more influence simply because their states are considered competitive? Or should every vote carry equal weight, regardless of where it's cast? As we head into the 2024 election, it's important to be aware of these dynamics and to understand how the Electoral College shapes the political landscape. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Should we just throw up our hands and say, well, that's just how the system works? Absolutely not. Understanding the Electoral College and its impact on voter turnout is not about accepting the status quo. It's about recognizing the importance of civic engagement, regardless of where you live or who you support. Your vote is your voice, your chance to shape the future of your community and your country. Don't let apathy or cynicism silence your voice. Get informed about the candidates and the issues. Talk to your friends and family about the importance of voting. And most importantly, show up at the polls and make your voice heard. The Electoral College might be a complex and at times frustrating system, but it's the system we have, and it's up to us, the citizens, to engage with it in a meaningful way. Because in a democracy, every voice counts, even if it feels like a whisper in a hurricane. Ah, the American presidential campaign season. It's a sight to behold. Candidates crisscrossing the country, shaking hands, kissing babies and promising the moon. It's like a political game of Where's Waldo in swing states. Remember those electoral votes? The golden tickets to the White House. Swing state residents get a full-blown political circus. The Electoral College creates a political distortion field. Tailoring the message. Speaking the language of swing voters. It's not just about showing up. Candidates tailor their message to resonate with swing voters. Think of it like a political Spotify playlist. They pore over polling data to identify hot-button issues, crafting speeches and policies to project empathy and understanding. Beyond the battlegrounds, the price of electoral strategy. Now you might be thinking, well, isn't that just smart campaigning? Focusing on the voters who can actually swing the election. But this laser focus on swing states comes at a price. Folks in other states might be left wondering, what about us? The Electoral College can create a sense of political neglect. Their votes taken for granted, the health of our democracy depends on it. So, what's the solution? How do we move towards a system where every voter feels valued, every state feels represented, and candidates are incentivized to campaign beyond the battleground states? That's a complex question, one that has fueled countless debates and proposed reforms. Some argue for abolishing the Electoral College altogether, while others propose tweaks to the system, like a national popular vote or proportional allocation of electoral votes. Regardless of the specific solution, one thing is clear. We need to strive for a system that encourages candidates to engage with voters from all walks of life, in all corners of the country. Imagine a campaign season where candidates aren't just chasing electoral votes, but are genuinely invested in understanding the diverse needs and aspirations of all Americans. A campaign where every state, every community feels like it's part of the national conversation. That's a campaign worth fighting for. Well, folks, there you have it. The Electoral College, a system as old as the Republic itself, yet as relevant and controversial as ever. We've journeyed through its historical roots and explored its intricate mechanics. It's a system that has sparked endless debates and fueled calls for reform. But one thing's for certain. The Electoral College is deeply woven into the fabric of American politics, shaping not only who occupies the Oval Office, but also how campaigns are run. As we've seen, it's not a perfect system. Yet for all its flaws, the Electoral College remains a cornerstone of American governance. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but what can I do about it? I'm just one person. Well, my friend, that's where you're wrong. In a democracy, every single voice matters. Every vote has the power to shape the future. Your vote, your voice can make a difference. First and foremost, get informed. Engage in respectful dialogue, even with those who hold different views. As we head into the 2024 election, the stakes couldn't be higher. The decisions made in this election will have far-reaching consequences, shaping the direction of our nation for years to come, and at the heart of it all will be the Electoral College, that enduring symbol of American democracy with all its complexities and contradictions. So whether you're a seasoned political junkie or a first-time voter, remember this: Your voice matters. Your vote matters. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Engage with the process. Make your voice heard. And let's work together to create a more informed, more engaged, and more representative democracy. And hey, while you're at it, why not share this video with your friends, family, even that neighbor who always has a different opinion? Let's spread the word and make sure everyone understands the ins and outs of this quirky, complicated, and ultimately crucial system we call the Electoral College. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Explore our video library for more history videos.